It's the purple Nurple. This purple and pink top shelf hopper is a great change of pace when you've been throwing the same old Terrestrial, or as the lead in a hopper dropper combo. I'm gonna tie one up. So grab a cup of chill as we sit back and go on the Vise with the FlyOlderGuy. And on the Vise, we're gonna go with a size 12 curved Terrestrial hook. You can see it's got the shape you're looking for, and the hook gap has that nice extra little curve to it. On the bobbin, I'm going to load it up with some purple unithread, an 8/0. This is just going to match the overall color of the foam. Now, this fly, we're going to start the thread right around that hook point on the shank, trim off the tag end, and then just build up a little bit of a thread base. That way the foam will slip a little bit less. This pattern I picked up from Drew Lookin' Fishy, his channel. Shout out, Drew. Good channel. And this is a nice pattern, not too difficult to tie. Oop, I spoke too soon. But I'll put the link down in the description. And I'm going to build up, like I said, a little bit of a thread base here, just up to that hook point, and then gonna leave the thread right there. And I have two pieces of foam here, a purple and a pink, and the purple's gonna be the top color, so we tie that in first. So the color you want on the outside of the fly, you want to tie that in first. So we're tying in the purple, and you can see it's slipping around a little less because we have that thread base there, and we're going down, way down on the bend, and I'm going to keep checking it every once in a while to make sure it's right around where I want it, and that looks about right. And we'll bring the thread back up to the tie-in point. Going to go a little bit over and then bring it right back onto the tie-in, and we're going to grab the pink foam, and the foam is about 1/4 inch. You see it's about a hook gap there, and I'm going to tie the pink right on top of the purple foam, get that tied down nicely, and I'm trying to keep it as even as possible there, checking as I go down that it's even, and that when I get the pink tied to the same point as the purple, I'll start to wrap back up, but checking a little bit as I go. It's looking good, it's looking close, it's still even. I'm going to give it that little bit of extra wrap down on that hook bend so it has more of that nice shape to the back end of the fly here. Build up some thread base, really just to get that foam under control. You see how you get that nicely tapered. Some more thread down on that, and I can leave that thread right there at that hook point. I'm going to grab some of this purple ice dub. Not too much, just a little bit. You know me, I like to go a little bit at a time. If we need more, we can add it. And put a noodle on here. Not crazy thin, but you don't want to, again, not too much dubbing at once. Gonna start the thread going back, and then try to get that dubbing right at the beginning of that tail section. Got a little bit stuck on the hook, but it's really just, it's not anything. It just looks like it's something. A little wily dubbing. So we'll wrap it forward. Touching wraps the dubbing just to give that little underbody, little shine, give it some texture, right? We're going to fold both pieces over, so now the purple is on top, and tie it down there right at the end of that dubbing, and that's creating that little bulbous, like, back section of the hopper here. And the dubbing is also going to work to cover up that foam body underneath and give it more of a buggy look. So the front end of the foam is a little long, so we're going to trim that down. Not too short, though. You want to leave enough to shape a good little head for the hopper at the end. But at this point, you want to give yourself a firm wraps right there. Really try to lock that foam down. You can see it's lined up nicely, and then we're going to pull the foam back, tie right underneath, and then forward with a good thread base to keep the foam from moving around too much. If it's on a bare hook, it's going to want to spin around. I'm going to leave quite a bit of space behind the hook eye. I'd say 2 to 3 eye lengths. You can see the check there. It's at least 2 eye lengths. And this is going to form this upper portion of the fly, the body, up to like the thorax. I'm going to put some wraps underneath there just to kind of dam up that foam, keep it lifted up, and then work back over this middle section to tie the foam down nice and tight, and also, keep it from slipping, and start to shape up this sort of middle section of the fly. This is where we're going to tie in all of our materials, like the wing, which is made from polypropylene yarn. So you're going to cut off a card length of that, and we're going to tie it in right there at the base of that back section. Give it a few nice wraps to get that locked in. Like to check, make sure it's locked in, give it a shake, it's locked down. Then we'll twist it. Give it a little bit of a clockwise twist it around itself. It'll pop in on itself, or counterclockwise. Either way, it's going to twist up on itself. Then you lock that other tag end down. You can see it sticks up nicely. Just want to make sure it's not going to slip. Looking good. I'm going to pull back those tag ends and trim them out. They can get a little bit tough to get all the little ends of the yarn. You can take your time. A few loose ends aren't the end of the world, but you don't want it to be too shaggy, right? We can wrap down some shag, but gotta look good. You want this purple Nurple to be nice. So we're gonna, just like I said, we'll wrap down those tag ends, get all that fluff locked in, back up to the base of the wing. Gonna get some Hackle. Now, because of all the foam, I'm going 2 sizes down. You can see this is just proud of a 16 with some Grizzly Hackle. Stripped off the tie-in end, tying it with the outside facing out, just tying it in nice and tight all the way up, all the way back. We don't want that to slip at all. And then right here at the base of the wing again, we're going to leave that thread. Give it the once over. It's looking good. Looking nice. There's still enough room up there. Very good. You just want to leave that room to really whip finish it later. The next step is the legs. We're going to grab these purple barbed rubber legs. Going to trim off one of the leg pieces, double it over, and then cut it in half. So 1/2 on each side. You can see I left the thread hanging there, and I'm going to use the hanging thread, the tension from that, just to hold that leg in place on the far side. Just like that. All right. Doesn't matter, move a little bit, and we'll grab the other leg and just pinch it on the near side, give it 2 wraps, and then you can fiddle with the legs a little bit, get them adjusted the way you want them, have them oriented properly, and pull it here and there and get the length right. Give it a few more wraps to just lock it in, and then you can even you give it a little check, make sure. It's looking pretty good, actually. So at this point, we'll wrap it really just to seal those legs in. A couple tighter wraps, and then I go a wrap behind the legs and in front of that wing, and leave the thread right there. And then we're going to dub the center section of the body here with with a nice bright pink dubbing. And I'm just going to complement the foam colors with the purple and the pink and make it bright. And, you know, like I said, it's going to be different than what you've been throwing all day, you know? The fish is going to see this and be like, what is that, right? So starting with a little bit of dubbing, working it behind the back leg and in front of the wing, 2 wraps so that you can actually see that dubbing on there, and then 2 wraps in the center. Don't worry about overlapping. We're going to be wrapping Hackle through there. So if there's a little space, it's not the end of the world. There's a leg sticking out of it anyway, you know? So a little bit more dubbing. I like to go a little bit at a time here. Too much, you just go crazy plump. And, you want to make sure you have enough to go in between the legs, but don't build up too much. So 2 nice wraps there in between. We'll sweep the legs back. 2 good wraps in the front. And then we've finished off dubbing that center section. Looks pretty good. Gonna grab the Hackle and then Hackle behind the legs and in front of the wing. Again, really 1 nice wrap back there, 2 wraps in the center with the Hackle. Gonna sweep the legs back, and then right there in front of the legs, 2 more good wraps, and I'm gonna lock in the Hackle now. And you know me, I like to really lock in my Hackle, 2 wraps around the back, working my way around the legs, which also helps kind of give you that back and forth to get through the Hackle. So 2 wraps behind, and I really do like to give it a wrap around the front side of the Hackle. Gonna flip it over, carefully come in and trim out the Hackle. There's a nice little trim there, nice and clean, looking good. Good profile. Just another couple wraps around there just to make sure we seal it in. Very nice. And then I'm gonna bring the thread forward right behind the eye, right underneath the foam. Give it some good wraps in there, just again to prop up that foam head a little bit. All right, we're gonna grab the whip finish tool, and it can get a little out of control here. So we're gonna come in, sweep the legs back, try to sweep the head back, and then hold that thread. And like I said, it's a little tough. So I missed that first one. Then I made sure I got the second one. So give it a nice 5-turn whip finish in here. Pop it off. That knot nice and tight under there. And then come up and trim it out close. And it's already looking kind of cool. It's looking nice, right? Got a nice profile. And we're going to trim it up, shape it up, right? Shape up this head a little bit shorter. And then give it a little bit of a little curve to it. There's a little bit of a curve shape to the head. The legs, I just pulled them in front of the head there so that they're a bit proud of the head, and I trim them off there. And again, same thing at the back. Sweep them back, just a bit proud at the back end. Trim off the wing to an appropriate looking length, and you're all set. There she is. Good looking hopper. That's a top shelf hopper right there in a purple and a pink. So what do you think about the purple Nurple? Really, it's a great top shelf hopper pattern. Mix and match the colors and tie some up. Keep them in your box for sure. So that was the tie. I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, stay fly.